Welcome to this masterclass from The Banker in association with Epam Systems. Today, we're looking at the findings from Epam's recent consumer banking report, which surveyed over 21,000 global banking customers about their relationships with financial institutions and services. In this second section, I'll be sitting down with Panos Archondakis, Global Head Banking and Wealth Management at Epam, where we will be discussing consumers' desire for information and whether banks are struggling to respond. Panos, how are you?
I'm very good, Liz. Hi.
Very good. So we're going to talk about consumer information and financial information. Yeah. What do consumers mean by that? What are they looking for?
It really boils down to education and advice. And what we're seeing particularly highlighted in our research is personal financial management, access to spending insights and analytics, advice even on how to make their money work harder, offers and recommendations, things that really show that the bank is proactively looking after consumers. We're also seeing that the financial crisis over 10 years ago now, but also more recently with the pandemic, has created an enormous amount of uncertainty for banking customers. This has changed some of the needs that they have, and they're also looking to their banks now and for guidance on how to get through the situation. Mm-hmm. So as people have changed jobs, lost their jobs, become self-employed, there are possibly even opportunities for consumers through this, but they need their banks to help them understand where those opportunities lie. So these are the kinds of things that we're seeing.
It's very interesting when you think of sort of traditional financial advice, and then, of course, you brought in the global pandemic, which there might be sort of many more consumers that are looking to navigate these rough waters. But, right now, with the proliferation of social media and bloggers, where are consumers getting this information right now?
Well, what we've found in the responses, and this is a global survey, but it has been pretty consistent, is that family and friends are the primary source of information, particularly for younger consumers. So Gen Z, 18 to 25, or
their parents,
their parents possibly, of course, but even up to around the 45-year-old age bracket is really focusing on family and friends. There is a heavy use of social media for financial information as well, and this is an interesting one because it's a kind of a grey area, living outside the kind of regulated advisory sort of boundary, but still very, very active in terms of providing information to consumers. We're also seeing some trends in regard to also related to age, which is that the types of information that consumers are looking for differ as well. So as you look in the 55-plus age category, there's little interest in basic financial information, but these age groups are also equally affected by some of these global trends that we've talked about, and their needs may be more sophisticated given where they are in their life. They may have mortgages, they may have other financial services that are going to be differently affected by the pandemic, so the types of information they're looking for will be different as well. So we do see these kind of nuances, but within the general sort of behavior that we see globally.
Yeah, it's very interesting, that sort of friends and family information. I'd love to delve in that but a bit more. But I wanted to move into the analog world. We've talked a lot about digital and mobile, and but what role do the branches have in this?
Well, there's another interesting trend that contributes here, which is that other research, not our own, but information that we've seen shows that digitally native consumers, and tending to be possibly more in these younger age groups that we've talked about, tend to not conflate personal service with a digital service. So while the focus is very much in the digital world on providing personalization, that is not necessarily the same thing as personal in the minds of the consumer. And the branch has a particular role to play here, obviously being a place where you will physically interact with an agent of the bank. That is a really strong trend that we're seeing in the role of the bank in serving the needs of consumers in providing information, providing advice.
So the branch is not yet dead.
That's the way it looks, and I think this is a very important point, because we look at the banks themselves and executives in banks really taking an axe to the branch network, if you can call it that. There's every day almost you're reading of new closures of branches, ATMs are disappearing from streets, and that really has an impact. And what our consumer research is telling us that actually customers of banks want to have the branch. They may not be wanting to do the traditional transactional kind of interaction within those branches, but there's possibly an opportunity here for banks to capitalize on, on the need for consumers to interact, to have that personal touch, which really means face-to-face or at least human interaction. Consumers are human beings. They have emotion, and some of the topics that they're trying to solve for are very sensitive, given the uncertainty that they're living through at the moment.
Excellent. Panos, thank you very much.
Thank you.